In this video, we will analyze 24 clips that claim to be paranormal. We'll slow them down, zoom in, and try to get the truth. So let's see what questions we have only on Paranormal, True or False. It is free to subscribe. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you. Is this shadow stalking this little girl? In the distance, we can see what appears to be a shadow. But as this little girl passes that tree, it looked like something was there. The father tells his daughter, "There's something behind you." So she looks behind her. So we can see a shadowy mass behind her, but then it looks like it turns and moves towards the right side of the screen. Then as she passes this tree, it looks like something's behind her again. You can kind of see it peeking out there like a couple of legs, but then it retreats. If this was a real situation, that parent would be freaked out and get their child away from this situation. Which tells me that this is either staged or it's video effects or both. Are these eyes lying? As the camera is pointing towards the window, suddenly we will see a pair of eyes peek over the windowsill. What are these eyes doing? What do they belong to? A second set of eyes appear. What animal is doing this? Whatever it is, it's definitely predatory because the eyes are on the front of the face and not the sides of a face like a prey animal. And this has to be a mid-size animal due to how far apart the eyes are. I'm not convinced it's paranormal. It could actually be a reflection and the eyes are actually inside of the room, not outside of the room. If this was something where the person actually thought their life was in danger, they would call the cops. They wouldn't be just recording it. I'm just not convinced it's paranormal. What is this disembodied torso? Suddenly, a disembodied torso can be seen. Is this a ghost? I can't do it, sorry. I don't know why camera glitches like this are being passed off as paranormal. If you want to understand this type of camera glitch better, go watch Corridor Crew's debunking video. You can type in YouTube search engine Corridor Crew debunk. It'll bring up their playlist where they have debunked several different UFOs, creatures, etc. Their videos are not boring at all. They're really funny and well explained. Were these candles blown out by a ghost? Before this lady has a chance to blow out her candles, they are blown out apparently by themselves. What happened? How did that happen? Are these trick candles? It looked like she was starting to blow them out, but then she stopped to say something. I thought for a second there maybe she snorted when she laughed and that caused it, but then I realized that when you snort you're kinda inhaling, not exhaling. Is it possible she exhaled air from her nose? If there was an air vent or some sort of fan directly above her, it would have moved the flowers, her hair, and the balloons. None of those things are moving. Now magicians can blow in such a way that we couldn't tell. Is she a magician? It appears that they are blowing in the direction of coming from her, so it's some type of trick being done by her, or the candles are trick candles, or it's a ghost. What do you guys think on this one? Where did the torso go? On the right hand side we'll see just legs running with no upper body. So this could be a camera glitch, but it could also be some type of a puppet being managed from an upper story. The legs just seem so thin that that's why I'm wondering if it's a puppet. Either way, it's not real paranormal. Most likely it is a camera glitch, but it's just the fact that the leg span is not very wide, and that's why I'm wondering if it's a puppet. We have one step that's fairly wide right here, but all the others are like barely clearing the previous step before the foot's on the ground. So it's just an odd way for the average person to run. Now, obviously, if the ground is uneven, we will all change our footsteps to accommodate an uneven ground to keep our balance. So that could be what's contributing to this odd run. But either way, it's not paranormal. Is this gate possessed? Suddenly, this gate starts to open, seemingly by itself. Is it a faulty latch, and the gate was not latched correctly? Is it simply gravity that caused this gate to open? Did the wind cause this gate to open? I don't think it's wind because the plants that are in the center of the screen, their leaves would have moved if it was wind. Without being able to examine the latch or the gate, I don't know if it's a latch or gravity issue. I see that there's some type of flicker with the camera. So is the camera footage tampered with? The camera glitch issue happens twice. Once right here, and then again after it gets all the way over here. Do you see both of those glitches? So let's look frame to frame on this glitch. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. That was the first glitch and I didn't see really anything. Now the second one is a little weirder because it phases in and out of focus. So did someone cut the footage? Was a string being used? So I'm not sure what caused the two camera glitches. I don't think the camera is being turned off during those glitches because it doesn't seem to me that those glitches are stopping the movement of the gate. This might be real, but I can also see how it could be faked. Is this playground haunted? It looks like an invisible person is working out on this gym set. This is a cell phone camera, not a security camera. Several young men witnessed this and filmed it, but were pretty freaked out by it and they left. Is this equipment malfunctioning? It's not the wind because the leaves on the trees are not blowing. I also think with this being metal, it would take a tornado or a hurricane to cause that. I think we would have heard it in the audio if it was wire or cable pulling it. I'm not sure on this one. I feel like there might be a scientific explanation for it or an equipment explanation for it. They could have used a rope and then edited out that rope. Are they using some type of motion tracking software? Are we seeing motion blur here? I'm not sure on this one. What do you think? Did a ghost steal this tricycle? Suddenly, a domino effect hits those mopeds, which caused the tricycle to just start rolling away. What caused the mopeds to fall? Even though this footage gives the appearance of going uphill, I think that's an optical illusion. I think it's actually going downhill. So is this a ghost or is this just gravity? There is a person on the sidewalk. Did they have a string and pull the first one down? What about an earthquake? Did that occur? If this was an uphill slope, I would think that it might be paranormal. But as it is, I think it's just gravity. I'm not convinced it's paranormal. What do you think on this one? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Is this chair possessed? Again, we have a security camera that appears to have caught a chair moving in the middle of the room. It does not appear that anybody is in the room. The camera is at the back of the room with all the chairs having the back closest to us. And that chair moved backwards towards us. Obviously, this is possible to recreate just using string. And it doesn't matter if I slow it down or change the color or zoom in, it doesn't appear any other chair moves. So it is possible this is paranormal. Is this a poltergeist? As this employee is restocking the shelves with videos, the cart that he's been using suddenly rolls away in a jerky manner. Who or what caused that cart to roll away? Is it a ghost? Is it a prank or a hoax? Is it staged? Could this easily be recreated? Well, I would hide in the other row, tie a string to the cart, and just pull it. Is that what happened in this circumstance? As the employee goes to the other row, one of the videos falls. Was it carelessly placed and that's why it fell? So the employee picks it up and he puts it back on the shelf, and it looks like he's put it on the shelf fairly safely. So why does it fall again? So once again, he goes over and he picks it up and he puts it back on the shelf. He doesn't look around to see what could cause that to keep falling off the shelf. He doesn't examine the video to see if it's lopsided and that's what's causing it to fall. He just picks it up and puts it back. And then a different video falls. And then that video falls again. My rule of thumb is if there's too much activity, chances are it's staged. And the way that he doesn't even examine or look around tells me he's in on it. Is this a ghost on this road? As this car drives down this road, on the left-hand side, we can see something that looks like a small person. Is it human? Is it a ghost? Is it a video effect? To me, it looks like one of those very large clear plastic bags or clear plastic tarp, most likely blown onto the road via the wind. I'm not convinced it's paranormal, just trash. Is this a shadow person behind this lady? So as this lady is dancing for a TikTok video, it appears someone is behind her. Is it a shadow person? Is it a living person? Is it a stalker? Is this staged, choreographed, planned? It looks like the person's back is to us. Well, it's not a true shadow person because we can actually see the neckline and the hairline when we get to this clip here. They're not transparent. It may be CG or some type of video effect, but I'm not convinced it's paranormal. Freaky, yes, but paranormal, no. Is this ghost mad because dinner's not ready? Just about everything small that can be moved in this room starts flying around, and everything flies around towards blind spots in the room. Isn't it amazing how often we see objects moving just in a kitchen. So why do we always see objects moving in the kitchen? Simple, the kitchen has the most items that you can easily tie a string to them to get them to move. It's harder to find the safety pin to tie a string to in order to get blankets or pillows or any type of fabric to move. And there's a chance that that safety pin could be seen. So chances are you have about 3 people, one under the table, one on the right side, and then one on the left side. In order to get that knife to launch up into the air, chances are there's a hook on the ceiling or somebody's on a ladder off screen. So I don't know if all this was done for a movie, but that's the impression I get is they're trying to create some type of movie or this is from a movie. If we watch that blue towel that is draped on the stove, we notice it's never moving. Why not? It's probably the easiest thing for a ghost to be able to move. Simple, it's harder to hide the string with using any type of fabric because the fabric would either bunch up or if you are using a safety pin, then that safety pin could be visible by the camera. So even though we don't see any of the strings, the other thing to note is some of this stuff is being pushed or moved and it's partially off camera or completely off camera when it starts to move. So some of these things could just be thrown by somebody. And you'll see if you watch my video that I did, you'll see me point out the string and show how easy that string is to be hidden. The other option they have is if any string does show up, they can just wipe it out in editing. I don't know why this entire video just gives me the impression that it's a bunch of teenage boys, but that's the impression I get. But it's not paranormal. Is this a ghost walking across the street? We will suddenly see a shadow person emerge and walk across the street. Is this real? Is it CG? This almost looks like one of those filmed at one time and then overlapped it with another footage. So I think that's what's going on here. Once without traffic and once with traffic. So I'll show you how in editing software we do overlapping. We take the base, which is the skull, then we're going to add the cat eyes to the skull. Then we add the established in 2022, and then we add the name. So that's how you can overlap. You can just pile everything onto here. And then with all of that, you can put it on the background of the trees. And that's just overlapping of still images. The same thing can be done with video images. Is this shop haunted or the items within it? Periodically throughout this shop, whether customers are in the shop or not, items will fall. Is it due to some type of vibration? Is it due to trickery? Is it due to sloppy placement of items or hanging up of items? Is it due to air vents? Or is it due to the paranormal? It could be all of the above. Even though string could be used or it could be sloppy placement, I think what's key to me is the fact that all of these items are falling on different days and different years. So I do think some of these might be accidental, but some may be paranormal. Is this doll possessed? The doll in the lower left corner suddenly tips forward. What caused it to move? Did somebody bang on the wall on the other side? Was it not placed on that shelf correctly, and that's what caused it to tip forward? Is there a string attached? Or is it a poltergeist? For me, this one is inconclusive. I don't see enough of the doll to be able to ascertain what caused it to fall. Who is this unwelcomed visitor? First, the door opens wide. Then, something on the floor is kicked towards the camera. All of this is happening while this couple sleeps. Then suddenly, this man's left arm is yanked up over his head in a weird manner and then pulled behind him, which pulls him over onto his back. Once again, the arm is lifted towards the open door. Then just as suddenly, it's thrown back against him, causing him to sit up, but I'm not sure if he's awake yet or not. Then the man proceeds to lift his feet out of the bed and stand up, where he then just stands there, wobbly, and I don't believe he's awake. The video clip actually jumps from 3:17 to 3:45. There's another jump from 3:45 all the way to 4:02. His arm was only stretched out for a few seconds, as it was pulled out in that 3:45 mark and brought back in that 3:45 mark. He doesn't get out of bed until 4:02, and he stands there for a good 10 to 12 minutes. So his movements is just classic sleepwalking or sleep disturbances. So the door was already open a crack. If there's another door in the house that was opened, it's possible a vacuum occurred, which completed opening up that door. The object on the floor that gets kicked all the way towards the camera and very quickly, that's possibly a string. I'm not sure, but that would be the only thing that I would really label as possibly paranormal. However, I'm not sure why we even have a camera on this couple. I don't know if they're trying to purposely catch his sleep disturbances, any break-ins, or any type of paranormal activity. And I'm not going to mention the other reason why there'd be a camera in the bedroom. And children, don't ask. So I don't know on this one. I mean, it just comes across too staged for me. But again, they could just be trying to capture his sleep disorders and how freaky those are. I have never seen anybody sleepwalk, but the clips that I've seen of sleepwalkers, it is pretty freaky because they just wander around acting like a zombie. It's one of those things, the lights are on, but nobody's home. So I'm not convinced it's paranormal. What do you guys think on this one? Let me know in the comments below. Who or what is banging this door? While the lights flicker, a small door at the end of the hallway keeps opening and closing. Two security guards move down the hallway and decide to investigate this noise. The lights continue to flicker on and off, while the door continues to bang close every few seconds. When the guards get closer, the door suddenly stops. The lights quit flickering, and they turn off completely before being turned back on. The guard opens up the door, and we can see that it is too shallow for a human being to have been inside of it. So is this video for some sort of a movie? Is this staged? Is it hoaxed? Is it a prank? Or is it real? I don't think it's paranormal, but I don't know if these guys are in on this joke or if somebody else is hoaxing and pranking these guards. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know how difficult it would be to actually rig that door to open and close like it's doing. I don't know if that light suddenly going off was them removing that device really quickly. I'm not convinced it's paranormal, but I'm not sure how they faked it either. I know I would have to drill a hole in the wall to have a string that would pull the door closed, and then I'd have to have another string that would pull the door open. But I also feel like some type of remote device could be used. I just don't know enough about remote devices to be able to set something like that up. Is this a ghost? On the right of the screen and in the middle of the screen, we will see a wispy, ghost-like appearance cross in front of the camera. Is this proof of the paranormal? What could this be? We are looking at a leg of a bug, and the fainter wispy type images that we're seeing, those are most likely the bug's antennas. They're smaller, they're moving more quickly, and they could give this illusion of blurred motion, but in actuality, it's just the bug. Because there's plenty of light in this room, an IR camera is not being used to pick up this bug. I'm going to show you a video where IR camera is being used, but you'll see that the length of the bug, or the leg of the bug rather, is almost the same, even if it's a different color. This is from my security cameras, and right there's the leg of a bug. It's possible they cut the video before you could tell it was a bug, so now you have a side-by-side comparison. Is this person living or dead? As the car travels down the road, on the right-hand side, we will see a human being standing there. Are they living or are they dead? Yes, this is a little bit creepy, but I'm not convinced it's paranormal. I know it may be strange to people who live in a city, but sometimes out in the country, people wait by the side of the road for a ride. And depending on what their job is, they could be waiting out there in the middle of the night. I don't know why this is being passed off as paranormal. Is this seance staged? As these people conduct a seance, suddenly the table starts moving. They all remove their hands from the table and start looking under the table. It does not appear that anybody's foot caused the table to move. Too many times I've watched seances and you could totally tell they were faked. I don't know if this one is or not. Let me know in the comments below if you've been a part of a seance like this and your table moved. Is this a ghost or a camera glitch? As the security camera is pointed down this hallway, we can see pixelized forms developing in the distance. Is this a ghost? Is this family being haunted? Most likely the light from the IR sensor doesn't reach that far, and that's why that person is looking broken up and mangled, pixelated. But it's a real person, not a ghost. Is this hospital haunted? When the camera pans to the right down this hallway, it looks like there's somebody in a doorway on the left-hand side. They turn back to look again and it's gone. So let's freeze frame the image right there. Do you see it? Is it a real person? Is it a shadow person? Is it an optical illusion? Let's see if zooming in helps. A little bit. Let's slow it down and zoom in. It looks like somebody's there. So now that we've determined something is definitely there, is this real, staged, fake, prank, hoaxed? I know hospitals tend to be haunted. The camera motion seems pretty natural, of just walking down the hallway, capturing this other hallway completely. So I don't really feel like the camera work is staged. It's possible this one is real. Please let me know in the comments if my analysis nailed it or failed it. The links for other social media platforms for this channel and for Jim is in the description below. Always be safe. It is free to subscribe. Please subscribe. There are many more videos you can watch, and you can click on the attached playlist card to see some of them. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.